folks, welcome back to another episode of Coffee, Tea, and Crime. Today we're going to be looking at a miracle in Missouri. It's October 6, 2002. In a little country community known as Richwoods, Missouri, 11-year-old little boy named Shannon Hornbeck. He's going to get on his bicycle and go visit some of his friends down the road. Now, his mama's standing there at the door when he's pedaling off down the street. She didn't realize at the time it was going to be 4 years before she'd see her son again. Now, before he got to his little buddy's house, a white pickup truck came up, bumped the bike, knocked him off of it, fell inside the truck, grabbed him and put him in the truck. Now, it would later be discovered that this suspect had been riding around the roadways there looking for a young victim. Now, for the next 4 years, Sean would be kept in the suspect's apartment, beaten and brainwashed, abused. Now, a little over 4 years later, it's January 8th, 2007, 13-year-old named Ben Omby. He's at a bus stop there in the rural part of Beaufort, Missouri. That's in Franklin County. White truck comes by. Suspect gets out, grabs little Ben, puts him in the truck, takes off. Now, luckily for everyone involved, one of Ben's friends, a fella named Mitchell, he got a really good look at the truck, and he loved pickup trucks, so he knew a lot about them. So he gave the police a really good description of this white Nissan truck. Very good description of vehicle damage, dirt, mud, the whole 9 yards. Now, later on, the suspect would tell authorities that when he snatched up little Ben that day, Sean was in the truck with him. Now, 3 days later, 2 Kirkwood police officers, they're on a call there in the apartments where the suspect lives. Now, when they're getting ready to leave, they happen to glance over and they see a white Nissan pickup truck. And they remembered the bulletins that came out about that truck, or one similar to it, used in a kidnapping. Now, according to the officers, that pickup truck had the dirt and rust and everything that the witness had mentioned. Now, they happened to see the suspect bringing his trash out. Now, they knew the suspect because he was a manager of a restaurant, which was just down the street from the police station. So they spoke to him for a couple of minutes. They asked him could they go in and look at his apartment. He told them no. Well, of course, the officers, they put the word out to their supervisors, and it went up the chain of command. And so now we got the police watching the suspect. Now, the next day, January the 12th, 2007, the resource material varies as to who actually went to the pizzeria where the suspect was a manager. Some of it said the FBI actually did it, and others said local police. Probably a combination of the two. In any event, they go to that restaurant, and the suspect's one of the managers on duty. Now, they ask the suspect, can we search your truck? And he says they can. So now, while the pickup truck's being searched, an investigator is talking to the suspect. Now, the word was this suspect was a kind of a social misfit. Now, he had grew up in the neighboring area of Webster Grove, so he knew this area. This area is south and west of St. Louis, Missouri. So while he's in the back seat talking to the investigator or the FBI agent, whoever it was, he goes on and tells it. He tells the investigators that he's a bad person. Now, the resource material, some of it says that he admitted to having 2 kidnapped young boys in his apartment. Some of it just says he mentioned only Ben, the one who had just been kidnapped. So now the FBI and the local police, they go over to the suspect's apartment, which is in the 400 block of South Holmes Avenue. There in Kirkwood. Those apartments are right there by the Union Pacific Rail line. So now, according to the resource material, the suspect actually opens the front door of his apartment for the officers and the police. Now, when they enter the apartment, they see two young boys playing video games. One of them's little Ben, who had been kidnapped 4 days earlier. And the other one, they didn't recognize him at first. It didn't take them long to figure it out. The other one was 15-year-old Sean Horbeck. Now, later on, he told authorities that first month he'd been tied down, restrained, and that the suspect had come close to strangling him on at least one occasion. Now, the suspect had told him that, if you say anything or try to get away, I'm going to hurt your family. So you better not try to escape or tell the police. Now, as you might guess, the great state of Missouri sure don't like suspects that kidnap little kids. Now, 3 counties, Franklin, Washington, and St. Louis, all hit him with charges upon charges: kidnapping, use of a deadly weapon, molestation, production of child pornography, on and on and on. Now, he was sentenced to 74 life sentences. And for good measure, federal government gave him 170 years of Fed time. Now, while he was in prison, he got stabbed once, so now he's in protective custody wing at State Crossroads Correctional Center in Cameron, northwestern Missouri. It's nice to have a happy ending. Those 2 little boys got to go home and see their folks. And that bad man is in prison where he belongs.